So, hi, all of you. We are back after a break. Welcome back to Women's Special Express show. We are in the conversation with the Shreya Patilji, and she's the photojournalist. We are trying to open her life and trying to open a photojournalist life in our show today. Welcome back, Shreya. The way you mentioned the Mulund train bomb blast, and you quite experienced as a viewer. You quite experienced as yourself being in the same boat where somebody else could have covered your news.
I would like to give one more example of my life. I was working for a national agency, and they had asked me to cover the Kumbh Mela.
Hmm.
Happens after 12 years, right? So it happened in my career. So I had gone to cover Kumbh Mela, and the place was so dirty, like it wasn't clean. So the whole day I just had a one Bisleri bottle. I couldn't dare to buy a water bottle there and drink those bottles. you know um, the situation what we went, like we as a photo go through na, we can't show everything to everyone, right? So
Yes.
I had not packed a lunch for me while going to
Hmm.
Manila in Nashik. This was in Nashik. So the place was quite dirty. It wasn't clean. The time when I had gone this year, like recently, which happened, it was quite a clean place. But
Hmm.
I'm about around 2003 or something, 2000 around 2000 a year it had happened, and there was some malaria and dengue and things were happening in the area. So
Hmm.
I opted of not eating and drinking anything at that place, but shooting my images. And I had an option, like my office had given me an option of staying there in that area, but
Hmm.
I opted of not staying there in that area because the very next day they had not slotted my day of covering the Kumbh Mela. So it was only one day thing what they had sent me. So I thought, as well, night like evening, I'll travel back home. So I traveled back home after covering a Kumbh Mela without eating and drinking anything. I had produced good images which came in other newspapers also. But you won't believe, the moment I had knocked my house and I was entering, I get a call from my Delhi boss. Where are you? Kahan pe ho? I say
Hmm.
that entering my house, I'm just at the door. And he's like, okay, don't get into the house. You rush to the Ghatkopar station. I'm like, why? One BST bus blast has happened near the station area of Ghatkopar. And I was like, what? Like after having such a tiring day,
Hmm.
just because I was the closest to Ghatkopar, the Mulund area was closest to Ghatkopar, and nobody from VT area could reach as fast as I can. They
Hmm.
called me and they said, you have to go. You won't believe, the very next moment, without drinking water, I had pushed back to the station, heading to
Oh,
Ghatkopar, and my mom was yelling at me, "Arey, eat something and go, drink something and go." I
right.
said, I can't lose out the moment.
Right.
For a photographer, right time, right place, right situation is very important. So, you have to think twice what are your priorities, and plan up. So immediately I had to rush to Ghatkopar, and you won't
Hmm.
believe, there also I was one of the first few photographers who reached there. The Hindu had carried my full, almost a half-page picture of the blast, where the blasted bus and the bike and few things were shown in the picture. So it was a disturbing picture, but I made it.
Hmm.
So I'm glad whoever till date, like my bosses always thought that I was capable of doing the job. I was never compared, like
Yeah.
I was always given a chance to prove myself on field. So I'm glad. I could prove myself by producing good images.
So, so when you were saying what the photographer needs to do as a photojournalist has to do, when that came into the picture, I'm like startled myself. When we say the essential services, we always see the doctors or the healthcare, the militants, army, all other fields. Those are the very essential services where they have to run on their toes, and quite a times that they don't have to they don't have time for their families, or they don't have time even to eat or drink a sip of water. And we never thought about that the photojournalists or the journalists are also a part of it. So you you have just given us the angle to think about a photojournalist life, and it's I mean, it's heart touching.
I should tell you that for a photojournalist, see, being a reporter, not always you have to come on field. You also have an option of just calling people and taking the interview also. But the photographer to be there on the field, there at the situation. So I always say to people like the newcomers that when you're doing a degree of photojournalism in any college, nobody tells you that you are put through different situations in life.
Hmm.
Like sometimes you're covering a news, sometimes you're covering a sports, a fashion week, or a movie screening, or a premiere, or what, or you're doing some feature story shoots. Everything has their own pros and cons. Okay, but when you're doing a news, one so if something newsy happens, the common man comes out of the situation, right?
Hmm.
If the earthquake happens, or if the blast happens, or the terror attack happens, or something happens, the common man will run out of the situation and save his life, right?
Yeah.
But a photographer will try and enter the Chakravyu situation, click
Yes.
pictures, keep his mind calm, and have a plan B to have the exit from the situation also. That's
Exactly.
how our life is. So,
Yeah.
nobody, like no degree or like college degree or a professor will tell you, you are supposed to get into the Chakravyu and come out of the situation safely and soundly.
Yeah.
And still produce amazing pictures or earth-shattering images which
Hmm.
will convince your readers to see and make change in life.
Yeah. So, I mean, as if you look at the military services, or the Air Force, or all those relevant fields where people are fighting, they have been taught to do that.
Yeah,
Whereas even
we are
like a very novice,
not taught. See, when 26/11, the terror attack happened, we
hmm,
didn't know what was happening around, because first time in Bombay there was like shooting, like openly the terrorists were shooting or bombarding the bombs inside the hotels, and we didn't know that from where the attack was going to happen. Like
yeah,
the situation was quite uncertain. Like somebody just coming out and just shooting randomly. You never know how to save your life. You just have to, like at that moment, you have to think, what images you're making. Like he's also shooting, I am also shooting, but in a different way. See,
exactly.
trying to make a positive shooting here and create some good images, like freezing the frame.
Yeah, it's a very freaking life that the photojournalist is exposed to, and without any trainings. Even for that matter, they don't have the saving weapons also, right? They're not been given any saving weapons. They don't even know how to operate it. So when certain kind of situation happens, if you have to run, or if somebody is behind you, you cannot even go back and hit that person.
We
See,
really
riots, when it comes to riots, like it is very well possible that you are a part of,
I'll
yeah,
try and show you one riot picture. This is a riot situation. Okay, I was there. So I have only clicked this image. You
Okay.
gave like a crowd was running with lathis and stones and throwing on you, and still you are trying and making a picture. So that
Hmm.
time, when such situation happens,
Hmm.
like no police and no common man will think that I am a photojournalist and I am creating something images so that my newspaper, my readers will read. So in such situation, I can see a person getting beaten up and I'm clicking images and still trying to save my life.
Wow.
So
So
uh,
you could also be the part of that victim crowd, right? At times,
yeah,
people may,
so
yeah,
you
people
get
may break into.
like people hit you, like anything can happen. But uh, like just try and save yourself. That's it. Like you should know how. Like nobody will teach you how to get into the situation and come out. So that's why I showed you this. This is the right situation. Here, this mob, like before the first image, what you saw
Hmm.
was the police had caught the guys. But here, these are the people who were creating the riot situation by throwing stones and doing lathi mar and all.
Hmm.
So yeah, so these kind of images we have to make.
Yeah. And then the police running behind them. Okay. So in this riot situation, there could also be the possibility that your camera gets broken or somebody just breaks your camera and the whole day's work is being just smashed up.
Yeah, such situations we like I have come like twice or thrice it has happened in my life, but luckily the just because it's a digital world,
Hmm.
the card is always safe inside the camera, but the camera gets damaged.
Hmm.
But yes, we as photographers we have also used our camera to for self defense also, like yeah. So in Dombivli, there was a rail roko. Because of the rail roko, uh, there were few like we all the media was covering it. Suddenly, a mob came rushing and they started hitting the media. And I was one of them who was getting hit by the people. And there were two, three boys in that crowd who started pulling out my clothes. Like they were like actually pulling my clothes. Luckily, what nothing tore apart.
Hmm.
Like for God's grace, nothing tore apart. But then, yes, they actually did that, and that's when I just flung my camera and I had hit my camera on those boys' head, and our cameras are quite heavy. He got hit, but then sometimes we have to have some defense while shooting images because there's nobody who is going to come and help us. Because at that time, I had seen next to me a police getting bashed up, and he was into blood. So I knew that not even a police is going to help me at that situation, and I am the one who is supposed to, try and save my life and get
Hmm.
out of the situation. So that's why in your previous question I had mentioned about the Chakravyuh.
Yeah.
You as a photojournalist should know how to get into the situation, how safely you can come out of the situation. We actually are living a very unpredictable life.
Sustaining on this field, the unpredictable life field for more than 2 decades is also not been an easy journey, is what I could visualize. And you are also mentoring many of your the teammates who are just onboarding, who are there as a veterans, and you're guiding so many women in your field. How to be upbeat. So, do you suggest that they should learn some self-defense mechanism so that they can be so prompt?
Of course,
Yeah.
of course. It's the need of
And
the hour. Not only just because you are into journalism, but every common man now should know the self-defense. Because if anything happens in and around you, should know how to have the defense, or one should know how to help the person next to you. Things are heading like if you see all over the world what is happening, the news is. every news is quite disturbing. So you should not say that you are a girl and somebody will come and help you and all, but you should always know how to defend yourself. Like, try and be independent and
Hmm.
not always dependent on someone.
Right. Have you like taken any kind of self-defense coaching? No. But it's your camera who taught you everything, and the love for camera taught you everything.
Yeah, the situations have taught me.
So going back a little on your journey, now that you have been established this as your career, you have been working towards, making the most, or giving the right news to the people rather than just giving some media to cover. That's not your aim for. How did you even at the first place thought of this field to be, your work field? It's a very different and it's a very rare field, I would say, that especially women's, think about it, because the cameras are heavy, you have to travel, and it's such an unpredictable life, dealing with that. How did you even decide it first place to get there?
Since my school days, I was into trekking, so that's
Hmm.
how I came closer to the nature. And we always had a SLR in my house,
Hmm.
uh, and so whatever pictures since the day one I have always shot on a SLR.
Okay.
Like, since the childhood, I always had a hands on my SLR camera.
Hmm.
So like, so even if I was traveling, I was with my camera and I was
Okay.
clicking pictures. So
Hmm.
whatever till date I have captured, I have always done it on my SLR camera. And like, one fine day, like, when I was a kid, in Bombay Times, there was a column where kids used to contribute a poem or a drawing or something.
Hmm.
So my dad had sent my picture, my picture, like my clicked picture,
Hmm.
uh, for that column. And suddenly one day, a creative director, the creative head of the Times of India, the response head, Nandu sir, he called me up saying that I would like to meet you
Hmm.
on this day, this time you come and meet me. So that time I was in my schooling, like 10th standard, maybe 9th or 10th. And he was like, "Ki, amazing image, and how did you do it being a girl? Like, rarely we have seen girls, because those days, first of all, SLR camera, and it was a film camera, and
Hmm.
upon that, being a girl, like, uh, a girl sending a picture.
Hmm.
So they called me and they were like checking, how much knowledge I have. And like, it's a SLR. At the end of the day, not many people you used to shoot on SLR in those days.
Hmm.
So he chatted up with me, and suddenly, he said, how about you freelancing with us, like
Oh.
contributing with
Hmm.
us? You're creating. I had taken my bunch of images to show him, like he wanted to see them, like, just to check whether I was the one who had clicked those images. So
Hmm.
I'd taken those images. And he said, how about you doing freelance work with us and clicking images? So
Hmm.
first I was reluctant. I told
Hmm.
him, I'm not interested in making money at this stage. Like, I'm well off right now. Yeah, like, a school kid or a kid who is going to get into the 11th standard or a 12th standard, like in the college, why would one person think about start working with Times of India? Obviously it was a dream to work with Times of India
Hmm.
someday, um, but it was someday and not that day. And he was like, we'll groom you and we'll tell you what to do and all. Then I told him, I so after my 10th, I'm going to along with my regular 11th 12th thing, I will also pursue doing photography courses from JJ School of Art, which is like a very well-known college
Yeah.
in Mumbai. So I was lucky to get through in one go, because not many people get through JJ School of Arts photography section in one go. I was lucky to get through, but I should tell you that that time also I was pursuing my arts with VG Vazay College, which is also known as Kelkar College, and that time I actually so both the colleges, like one of the lectures were getting, overlap. So somewhere I had to bunk one lecture. So
Hmm.
I opted off to bunk my arts lecture,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to cheat anyone, because I
Hmm.
was passionate of my photography world. But I was more into advertising. I should say, like I was more into my advertising style of pictures.
Hmm.
But things changed, and my arts, the VG was a college principal. I
Hmm.
actually went up to him and I told him, I officially want to bunk lectures. And he was like, taken aback. Ki what? Like some kid dares to come and tell me that she wants to bunk lecture. So I said, rather than coming in the blacklist, I'm coming myself and alerting you that I will be bunking this lecture on this day throughout the year,
Ah.
because I am pursuing my photography, which is my passion,
Hmm.
in some other college at the same time. So give me permission. And he actually did, and he was
Wow.
one strict principal. Like you ask anyone ki how strict Kurup sir was, and everyone will say, how dare you went up to him and you said something. But he
Mhm.
actually supported me. I'm telling you, he was one of the persons who supported me, like other than my parents and my, like now my husband. But
Hmm.
if he wouldn't have supported pursuing the photography, I wouldn't
Hmm.
have this profession at all. So, Kurup sir, like my principal from Kelkar College, he supported me, and that's how I started doing the the things which I didn't know while handling the SLR was taught to me there in
Hmm.
my photography course. And then, of course, after my 11th, 12th, I did my degree. And while pursuing my degree, I did I pursued a degree into mass media. And in
Hmm.
that, I had option of doing journalism and advertising.
Hmm.
But by that time, I was already into Times of India doing my freelance work,
Hmm.
writing and clicking images,
Hmm.
covering the news, what is happening day to day. So I
Hmm.
thought, I'm as well already doing whatever, like the journalism field. How
Ah.
about you? Advertising as specialization? And you won't believe I actually opted for advertising as my subject of specialization. And not like everybody was taken aback,
Yeah.
how come you have not taken journalism? I'm like, I'm already doing it. Why should I do it? At the end of the day, it's mass media. It doesn't matter like, what I'm doing at the end of the day. Is the person, like the man behind the camera should know how to click images. So if I'm doing a commercial shoot or a journalistic shoot, it's
Hmm.
it's a photographer at the end of the day.
Photojournalist. I mean, when I see your journey, I mean, you especially you knew what you're going to do as your career, as your work field. It just clicked at a very right or maybe early moment of your life, and you
He
continue.
was the one who, like the creative head of the response of the Times of India. He was the one who told me, he gets serious and start contributing your work with Times of India when you are studying. So those were the times which were like really hectic times. Uh,
Hmm.
he was the one who convinced me by saying, now you will feel that you are not going out with your friends, you are not going out for movies, or you're not bunking lectures and going for some picnic with your friends, but you are coming to work and doing work and still going back home completing assignments, college assignments at night, late night, and then go back to college early in the morning, and then come back to the office and do the freelance work again. So he was the one who convinced me that 3 years of your life you have to do this,
Wow.
and the day you pass out as a graduate, you will be already getting a senior most position in the field. So Nandu sir, like his real name is Madan Patil. So he is the person who actually guided me. What one should do. Like rather than wasting time, I contributed my time and invested in myself by doing.
Hmm.
When we passed out, I directly became a senior photographer
Hmm.
position. Like they offered me a position because I already had few years experience by then, and
Right.
till then I had covered variety of news at a very younger age.
Hmm.
So if you look at me, you will say you look quite young, and still you have 21 years of experience. It doesn't
Exactly.
reflect on your face.
Yeah.
So it's because all because of Nandu sir who guided me all through that. And I have seen my few of my college friends who struggled out, getting an internship after they passed out also, because it was a very difficult field. So with God's grace, I should say, somebody had already designed my life to get it. Yeah, like the camera was already there in the house. Then I
Yeah.
was taken, to one of the best organizations, like the Times of India,
Yeah.
groomed me for it. So I'm really glad for that. Since we started talking, I'm telling you, being a photojournalist, I'm game for the change. I accept the change which is happening in my life always. And
Hmm.
if you go with that flow, it's quite a ease. It's not always good also. There are ups and downs which you go through. But then, at least you have accepted it that you want to do it, right? So you will
Yeah.
do wholeheartedly what you want to do. So, like example, when the terror attack happened, 4 days we were on field without anything to eat also, because the whole of the South Bombay was cordoned off. Like
Yeah.
only the police and the media people were there in that particular, like the 4 areas. So there was no movement, and no food supply, no water supply was given. Luckily, my office was quite close to where I was allotted, so I could
Hmm.
come back and back and forth and go to the spot.
Hmm.
But it's a very difficult situation sometimes. Like we don't get, like even if the common man see the media guys around, not many people offer us a water.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the shelter in such times, having a shelter is also important, right? And they might refuse.
Yeah, yeah, people have done that.
How do you heart is yourself? How do you find a peace with this situation, the family balance, or this? How do you exactly come to that the balance point?
I never thought, I've gone through so many things in life. Like you have made me think back and what you have done in life. Like just because you are asking me, I'm thinking. Yes, it was a tough life. Now I realize that when I did that, I never thought of. When we come home after having such a stressful situation, it's very difficult. I have
Hmm.
always told myself that I should never ever bring my office thing to my home. Once I
Hmm.
enter my house, it should be switch off and switch on types.
Hmm.
But sometimes it doesn't happen also. I remember again about the blast situation. Sonia Gandhi was visiting a hospital, and I had seen that small kid searching for her father. Usually was lingering in my mind after I came home also. And I just
Hmm.
sat and I just cried, like I screamed and yelled and I cried first time in my life. I
Hmm.
did. And my mom was like, "What's wrong with you? What has happened?" I
Hmm.
said, "You know." these are the things I've seen, and I'm feeling bad for her.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, if I would have been in that situation, what things I would have gone through. And I'm thankful to God that, God has given me so many things in my life and I've not gone in that situation.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, if you think too much about a particular news, it hits your mind. I've tried and like obviously I do exercise also, but then
Hmm.
you have to keep things away from your mind. And of course, my two dogs help me do that. They always keep me happy, out of stress.
Wow. Yeah, so it is quite a thrill journey. Those were the terrific moments that you went through, and now we are seeing something very happening, or it's our God. It's a God for the cricket.
Yes, the Lord of the cricket.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity of clicking Sachin Tendulkar. He had completed his 20 years of career. This was a cover shot for the magazine. That was a time when my photo editor he believed that Shreya will make amazing images. I was quite a surprise that Bandeep Singh believed me and my work. Uh,
Hmm.
so Bandeep Singh is my mentor,
Hmm.
and he taught me how to shoot on lights. Current, I always had a photojournalistic life. I
Uh-huh.
never used lights. If you're watching this image, you see that I have used lights
Uh-huh.
while shooting this particular image. So yes, this is Sachin Tendulkar.
Oh, and you are meeting such amazing people in your field also. Uh, so, if you would have shown the pictures of celebrity, we know that because they're available to click. But when you see these kind of people who are so shy to face the cameras most of the time, and they're the gods in their fields, you get to meet them, you get to talk to them, you have to ease them, right, in
Yeah,
order to capture the pictures.
absolutely. So one more image on that note I want to show.
Oh, excellent.
So I also had this opportunity shooting three of them together. When I went there for the shoot, the first thing, so I'm short in stature.
Hmm.
So and Amitabh ji I was facing. So first thing he looked at me and he said, uh,
Hmm.
इतनी सी चिंटी लड़की आई है शूट पे. And suddenly my editor, who always believed my work,
Hmm.
uh, she said, ki, you don't go on her size. Let her make images and then you tell me what's your review. Few moments were really um, priceless for me because I never thought I would meet Amitabh. I've not shot him once, but many times I've shot him. But this was special because again, this was for a special edition and cover shot. And yes, it was difficult for me to face three celebrities at a time and make them casual and still face the camera and give them a lighter moment.
I think it's an awesome journey, and when we see these results, we feel okay. There is a good hope for being the photojournalist, and you can cover the good magazines, national level people who are doing the best things in their life, and I think it eases out for the viewers what all photojournalists are doing.
One of the image when she started promoting the football and all. So you are supposed to convince these. So whoever your subject is, be it
Hmm.
a common man or a well-known celebrity or a businessman, you as a
Hmm.
photojournalist have to share a vision. Ki
Hmm.
this is my image and this is how I'm going to create the image. So
Yeah.
when I was shooting Neeta Ambani ji, I had to tell her, you have to hold a ball,
Hmm.
and I want kids who are playing with the ball, juggling the ball behind.
Hmm.
So basically, my image should speak rather than somebody writing something and then explaining what the image is.
Well, the picture do speak the thousand word indeed. And we can see the amazing results coming out of what you have done.
Have you ever seen Gateway of India in water?
Yeah, but sometimes it does, right?
Nowadays, such situations also we are getting into the situation, right? And then only you can make images. I'm just trying to show you few images that so that you have fair idea.
The photojournalist can do. I mean, they are doing wonders. So, Shreyaji, I mean, I think it was really a pleasure to understand what all graph that you have to work on being a photojournalist. We have a lot to talk more, but we have a limited time show.
Yeah.
So let's head on to the last round of the show, which is our favorite rapid fire round show. So, shall we begin?
Yes, please.
Yeah. What the first word that comes to your mind when I say uncaptured moments?
To rush to the moment and try and capture the image and be the first one to get there. Am I on the track?
Yeah, it's your track. This is what exactly goes on to the photographer's mind. We heard it. Give me a word which is in your dictionary for fear.
Fear. There's no word called fear in my dictionary at all. And we are like a photojournalist always have to be fearless, otherwise we can't face the situation. We fear something. Like, of course not. If my camera is in my hand, I am a fearless lady.
Complete the sentence. Instead of witnessing a moment, it's better sometimes dash dash.
Capture and click the images.
So, if the following situation happens, what will you do? You're rushing for some urgent news to be covered as a photographer. At the same time, while you are in your vehicle, you receive the call from your family for a very urgent situation, emergency situation, and then you see through the window that there is a helpless child lying on the road, met with an accident, and no humans around. What will you do?
So the first thing I'll get off my car, go to the help the click one image, help the what the child you said, na the
Yeah.
in the meanwhile, I have a mobile phone. I can call the nearest person or a nearest relative or a neighbor or a friend who can reach out to my family first and request them to go there. I'll head off to my assignment. I'll complete my assignment and reach back home with my family. That's how a photojournalist acts.
Yeah.
You can't give first preference to your family when you are a photojournalist.
Mm.
I've gone through this situation, so it was quite easier to answer for you.
Yeah. I was very sure, but the clicking of the picture of the child was something that I didn't know. You know, when I was looking for what will really happen, but clicking of the picture didn't comes to our mind.
Because you never know what has happened to that kid before, right?
Yeah.
When clicking the image before, I have a fact which I can show someone. Maybe it's news. I don't. It is a news or lost and found, or it can be anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm making a proof of it, right? By clicking an image.
So we see your life as a movie, but if you have to make any movie on any real life subject, what it could be?
I will make a movie on elephants because yes, now that the elephants have occupied my life, and yes, the elephants have taught me that they are the architect and engineer of nature, which hardly people around me know. Because of them, the forest and the jungles are alive, and if we use them as already they are the endangered species. I don't know if you know about it. Like every 15 minutes, there's a death of an elephant all over the world somewhere. And we are losing out elephants very fast. It's a high time the people and the common man should are important for the survival of the humans. Underline, for the survival of the humans. So we need to save them. So first thing, if like given a choice of making a movie, I will show ki, uh, so much knowledge and so much like how intelligent this animal is. I've not come across such an intelligent and a naughty animal. Everything. He has everything. Every time I come across an elephant, I have a different story to tell about.
Wow.
Who's the elephant?
I mean, being the photojournalist graph now that we just discussed for an hour, I was not imagining this answer would come.
Before 2012, you would have asked me this. I would have said, I would do a war situation. I would have shown
Hmm.
a war movie. I would have done because I
Hmm.
always like somewhere down in my heart, I always wanted to be a war photographer, which I never did.
Oh.
Being on field, when I started my career in 1999, I was one of like a single woman photographer on the field at that time. Like rarely there were women photographers around. So for us, it was like for me, it was a challenge, like to make my male colleagues accept me the way I was.
Yeah.
It was a little difficult at that situation, but yeah, slowly, they got accustomed, and touch wood, I never had a problem with anybody. Like, uh, like there was no bias situation anywhere. So I always was given a chance to prove myself, which I had to prove myself through my images, and I am so glad that I excelled into it.
So now that we are heading towards our advice question,
I'm
throughout, yeah,
not an old person to give advice to anyone. I'm telling you, I'm really not an old person. Yeah.
no, don't advise. Maybe you can give us a message then, okay? Throughout, you guided how to be a photojournalist, a good photojournalist, and what all they should have it in their mind, when they want to be one of them. Uh, so now the message question I will just twist it. Uh, what message you will pass to the kids or the people who want to pursue their career in such unpredictable fields, because it's not easy.
Yeah, it's not easy. So I will. So if a person wants to pursue a career in this, it's a very nice field, but you should be game for challenge. You should be game for a tough situation. If you at an early stage of your life, like me myself, I've gone through toughest of the situations, and being a young person, I knew what to do, when to do, and how to do. Right? So nobody will come and teach you that. Like time and again, I'm always telling, like no college will teach you this thing, like in such situations.
Right.
So you should, as a person, you should put, like you should only put yourself through toughest of the situations, accept the assignments, the toughest assignments to do, so that you're groomed well. Like I don't remember I have told any of my bosses that I will never do a certain assignment. Like late night assignments also I have done, being a lady.
Wow.
So like I've never given a chance to anyone to say that you are a lady and you should not do. I've never done that.
I think you quite well proved, and being in this result oriented industry where only the pictures speak, a marvelous job. We never see the man behind the camera, and that's true indeed. When this journey got unfolded, we got to know many facts that we really don't know the man behind the camera, the emotions behind the camera, what it goes through. This was a photojournalist, Shreya Patil. She was conversing with us on the show. We were fortunate to get her guidance. I'm glad that Vineet Marathe is a person who introduced me and asked me that you should have somebody like this to cover up on your show. If you know someone who is an inspiration to you and you think can give a best guidance to our all viewers, please comment in and we'll take your opinion seriously. Uh, Thank you, Shreya, for coming on to the show, giving us your valuable time. We understand your every moment is important. Uh, and initially you were resistant. Oh my God, the photojournalists have to talk.
So it's really difficult for a photographer to be in front of the camera because you're always very comfortable being behind the camera. So you made me come in front of the camera. So
Oh, thank you.
so much for giving me a chance to look back in my career and give it a thought. You know what all plus minus things I've done in my life, and yeah, I'm really thankful if I could be of any help to any people uh, by talking about my career.
Wow. We are looking forward for your TEDx talk. If it happens, we'll be the first ones to hear. We see a journey there. uh, well, that was our guest for today, who is Shreya Patil, a photojournalist. It was a very different journey that we could unfold. We'll be coming up with such and more guests on our show to guide you to understand how the journey could be, and it could be an inspiration and a motivation for you to pursue that field. Stay tuned to Women's Special Express show. For more details, please subscribe and share this video. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I let go of my claim on you. It's a free world. You look down on where you came from sometimes, but you have this place to call